What do you mean?
Jonah. When you get to a certain age,
Oh, I
you start to
see.
slow
Yeah,
down a
yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah. Yeah, okay. I
I
gotcha.
mean, I'm not, I'll get there soon. I'm almost there. In fact, it's past 8 p.m. It's my bedtime.
All right. Well, we're at exactly 10 minutes, so we can roll on uh into the actual show if you'd like now.
Let's do it.
Well, hello everyone and welcome back to the Audio Shop podcast. Welcome back to the Year of the Sponge. I realize that it just shifted to the Year of the Dragon, but we do calendar years. This isn't the Chinese calendar.
And aren't sponges like the dragons of the sea, except for everything?
I mean, look the bottom, that one in the bottom right's kind of breathing fire,
Okay,
right?
okay.
But this week we listened to Stone Flower by Antonio Carlos Jobim. Did I say that right?
I believe so. Joe
Jobim?
Beam.
Jobim. You want to tell us a little bit about this, Coop, since you'd been listening to him for a bit and wanted to listen to him some more?
I'll give a little background. So, his full name is Antonio Carlos Brasileiro de Alameda Jobim.
That's a lot.
Also known as just Tom. This is a shortened stage name, but so he's a Brazilian composer and singer and songwriter, and really kind of the I guess you could say the great international popularizer of bossa nova music.
Hmm.
Brazilian bossa nova music, um, where he kind of helped to take it across the ocean. He's known as the father of bossa nova.
Wow, I had no idea.
Um, Kind of most famously known for his single "The Girl from Ipanema,"
Know that one.
uh, which is basically a jazz standard at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he was also he wrote or performed on the first jazz record to win the Grammy for Album of the Year back in 1965. And he basically he's "Girl from Ipanema" is kind of his big claim to fame. That's been recorded by I think it said over 240 artists have covered that song, which is a lot.
That is a lot.
Um, he also did an album with Frank Sinatra.
That kind of makes sense. He's got a very smooth sound that it sounds like Sinatra would like.
Yes, and this is his sixth studio album. Um, Came out in 1970, titled Stone Flower. So we can get right into it then, if you're ready, Sam.
Yeah, we can get into it with track number 1.
And forgive me for any mispronunciations here.
I won't.
Oh, Teresa, My Love, track number 1.
It starts off with what will be the standard for this entire album, with all of the percussion completely in the right ear. Which I don't hate initially, but as time goes on, I come to hate it.
Honestly, I didn't even notice it. And I'm starting to think it's just a you problem, Sam.
It's really not. My ear was getting very tired.
Okay, this is the mildest percussion possible.
Yeah, but after half an hour of it, I was feeling a little unbalanced.
You tried to get up and you're stumbling around.
Exactly. Yeah, you get it.
No.
But this early in the album, it didn't bug me because that trombone was so soft and sweet.
Oh yeah, this has some excellent. I wasn't sure if it's trombone or like a muted trumpet. I guess you've got a better ear for.
I initially said
instruments
trumpet. Later on, it made me think it was trombone. But there was a couple times on this album where I heard an instrument. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's that. And then I listened more. I'm like, wait, no, I don't know what this is. Why don't I know what this is? This is upsetting.
Well, it could be some sort of South American variant.
True.
Depending on what was actually used on here. I'll have to look up the instrumentation for this album.
Sometimes you can't find it, which is annoying.
According to the Wikipedia page, the instruments on this were piano, guitar, violin, soprano, saxophone, trombone, and flute. Okay. And
Okay,
then
so it
bass and
was
drums.
saxophone. See, later on, I was like, man, that sounds like a bass flute, but it was just a really fucking well played saxophone.
So it was really saxophone and trombone, no trumpet to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think the instrumentation throughout this album is pretty subtle in some ways, but also very deep in a lot of ways as well. I mean, obviously it's bossa nova, so this album's pretty mild energy throughout, right? They
Mm-hmm.
keep it mellow here,
It
and I
is.
think this first track really sets the mood there.
Yeah, we've got the trombone that's in, and then a short while later, the flute comes in to duet with the sorry, flutes plural. There's more than one. Comes in to duet with the trombone, and it balances out quite nicely between the ears. And then there's just that constant bossa nova groove going on underneath.
Right, the bossa nova philosophy almost seems to be kind of a lull you right into the music, whereas you're kind of floating into it like a sensory deprivation chamber.
Mm-hmm. And there's not a ton going on in it, but it doesn't feel sparse. It feels like it's got a nice relaxing lightness to it.
Yeah, I mean throughout the album, right? Like there's piano, there's guitar, saxophone, trombone, flute, double bass, drums, right? Multiple forms of percussion.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like this is like light on instrumentation, but it's used very selectively.
Yes, there's only one spot where everything kind of comes in all together. Everywhere else is quite subdued and calm.
We'll move on then to track number 2, if you're ready, Sam.
Yeah.
Children's games.
Are you sure you pronounced that one right?
Did I? Children's.
No, I'm just screwing with you. Because most of the front half of this album is, I would say, not too hard to pronounce. So I guess track number 3, but
Children's games.
Yeah, this one for some reason made me think of Skating from Charlie Brown Christmas.
Honestly, I could see a lot of yeah. I don't not see that.
I don't know why. It's something in the piano line that just it was hitting the same nerves in my brain.
Vince Guaraldi. He's kind of the jazz composer that did all the Charlie Brown music.
Yes.
It's fantastic music as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure he pulled a lot from the bossa nova sound. Or I mean, bossa nova and like jazz are kind of very intermelded.
Mm-hmm.
Especially once you get past the 60s and 70s, and they kind of start to fuse DNA. But I know what you mean. The kind of main melodic underline with the kind of tinny, like whistling, like electric keys, and then the trombone kind of floating in every now and then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very good, and it was. I had to pause it in the middle. I'm like, which? I had to go search for the Charlie Brown song because I'm like, I know it's one of them, but I don't know them by name other than Linus and Lucy. And this is the one where I thought it was a low flute, but it's just really well played saxophone. Around the 2-minute mark.
Oh yeah. I mean, the instrumentation is certainly on point in terms of performances here. Nothing really, obviously it'd be very easy for a sax or a trombone
Mm-hmm.
to overpower the other noises on this album, but they keep it right in the right mood. It kind of gives you the mood of like a setting sun, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's nice and calm. Again, the right ear is a bit heavy in this one, but there's that weird piano at the end. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's kind of gets bloopy.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm assuming it's part of the electric piano or keyboard that he was using.
It was odd, but it weirdly worked.
Yeah, I mean, there's actually a lot more electronic keyboard in this album than you would expect from a classic quote unquote bossa nova album. But used tastefully.
Yes,
right? And they're not making Weird Al. This isn't Oingo Boingo here. They're keeping it subtle.
What's wrong with Oingo Boingo, Cooper?
Oh no, there's nothing wrong with Oingo Boingo, but someone said, "Hey, you want to listen to this Bossa Nova album?" And Oingo Boingo turned on. Not exactly similar moods.
Listen, Danny Elfman did a lot after Oingo Boingo. He's still doing a lot.
He made the Simpsons theme song.
Mm-hmm. He's
among other things,
big shot movie composer now.
Now it's been that he made the music for Batman. It was like 1985.
Yeah, Cooper.
Sam, it was before you were born.
No. No, remember, I'm 72.
Oh, right, sorry. Oh, yeah, so really, this was this young kid, Danny.
Yeah.
Coming up on the scene.
Don't you remember we're Jay Leno's grandparents?
Right.
So technically, I think we've said you fought in World War II, or maybe one. I don't remember.
Oh no, I was injured in World War One.
I see. I'll be honest. I kind of stopped paying attention to what year it was after it hit 2000.
Yeah, we're just somewhere in the middle of the millennia.
Yeah.
Move on then to track number 3.
Oh shit! I've just realized that I've not had the song track displayed this whole time. Whoops! Even though I've been tapping it. Hey, we're only on track 3. It's fine.
No, churro. Or churro.
I don't think it's churro. That's a O.
I think churro has 2 R's. Churro.
This is the one where I started not knowing what instrument that low flute, or it's actually a saxophone, but I started questioning whether or not it was a flute. And it's not. It's a saxophone.
There is flute on this album.
There is, but not that. That's sax.
But this one has a very, piano-forward song with this kind of snazzy melodic hook on it.
Yeah, it's so short. It's so sweet. I wish it was longer.
This is I think the shortest song on the album.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess it kind of sticks very closely to its main sound, the main melodic line
of the album, yeah,
or of the full song.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not too surprising that it kind of comes and goes, right? And it doesn't branch out too far from that basic melodic hook that the piano is performing.
No, which isn't bad, but I just wish I wanted. It was good. It's like, oh, I'm getting these 3-minute songs, and then this one just kind of is like, ooh, and it's gone.
It kind of plays around with the 3-minute, 4-minute, 2-minute, 7-minute songs.
yeah.
I'll keep you on your toes in terms of the length, at least.
Well, speaking of 7-minute, if you want to jump to track number 4.
Track number 4, Brazil, aka Aquarela do Brasil.
I wouldn't say that's a horrible pronunciation.
Thank you.
But I do not speak Portuguese, so
you may be surprised to find. But yeah, this is the aforementioned 7-minute song on the album.
Yes, and it does a little sneak on you. It makes you think it's gonna be real slow, and then it kind of takes off in relative terms because it's still jazz.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's necessarily popping off here.
No,
but just have a little bit more energy. Some drums pop in, some maraca, very mellow keyboard in the background. I was doing the main melodic line.
Yeah, I was very confused why I recognized that main melodic line around the 30-second mark.
I don't know. Maybe you've heard the song before?
Maybe.
I mean, it's a pretty distinctive melodic line. So.
Yeah, that's why I was confused. I'm like, why do I know this? Maybe I've heard it in elevators or something. I don't know.
I mean, I know that is what people will badmouth bossa nova and say it's elevator music.
Well, there's a reason.
I think it's much more tasteful than elevator music. A lot more subtle to it, and the song has vocals.
Yeah, that I was not expecting the singing. I should have known from the cover art, though. It looks like he sings.
Right, but it's used. It's like any of the instruments, right? It's used when appropriate, where it just kind of comes out and he just kind of pops in the song and then pops back out, right? It's not even the main focus of the song.
No.
Though obviously it's in Portuguese.
I mean, I don't need to know what he's saying. It's beautiful.
I'm pretty sure he's talking about Brazil. I heard the word Brazil in there a couple times. So
Yeah, you're probably right. If I had to take a guess.
So, but then like pops in, pops out. Tom with the vocals here. A very, I would say it's the most refined, vocals, but it's got a pretty nice, subtle delivery as well.
Yeah,
It matches the energy of the song.
It's a beast of a song at 7 minutes compared to everything. But it's nice and relaxing. It kind of just jives.
Oh yeah, I mean this song really lets instrumentation breathe, right? I mean with the vocals only occasionally coming in, and it really just kind of following that keyboard melody.
It's not in a rush to get anywhere.
It is not, no.
We can jump to track 5 then, if you're ready, Coop.
Track number 5, Stone Flower, the title track.
The titular track. This is where my right ear started getting tired from all the percussion. It was a bit too much.
This is definitely the most energetic song on the album, I would say. By like a pretty significant margin, actually.
Yeah, I noticed a little bit of peaking at points even when it got loud in this track.
Which was not necessarily what I was expecting from a bossa nova album here.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, the flute comes in, then or not the flute, but the trumpets, or I guess trombone and sax and piano. Yeah. There's like a cymbal slam.
There's a violin, I think. It sounded like a violin at least that comes in that kind of has a nice crustiness to it.
Some strings come in, and it actually gets pretty energetic as the song kind of builds up. I mean, it drops back a little bit at like the 2:10 point, but past that it just keeps going forward.
And then that's where the peaking is.
Right, a little bit, but honestly, it's I didn't notice that too much.
Yeah, it was.
Or at least not enough to like upset me.
No, it was just like 1 or 2 spots. I was like, "Ooh, okay, calm down, stand back from the mic a little bit. Maybe have a couple more mics per instrument, so they're not all playing into the same one." Yeah, but overall, still very good. And there's the brass hits with the violin as well. It's just, again, very nice. It's different to the previous tracks, which is a good little shake up this far into the album.
Kind of interesting for the title track. Is probably the least symbolic or representative of the rest of the album.
But, yeah, that's true. Yeah, the kind of least bossa nova-y.
No, but with that, we can move on to track number 6 then. Amparo.
I was going to say Amparo.
Amparo?
I don't know. I don't speak Portuguese.
Didn't you live in Portugal for about 18 years?
We don't talk about that.
Oh, right.
I lived in the hills as a hermit.
Does Portugal have hills?
I don't remember. This one was kind of oddly dark. Felt like a villain being introduced in an old play.
Oh yeah, this one was maybe not sinister, but definitely like melancholic.
Yeah,
there's like a dramatic flair to it, especially once that like kind of forlorn like pipe flute comes in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very interesting. I was really digging it. I wanted it to go a bit longer. Especially after the style mix up of Stone Flower. It's like, ooh, you're keeping it different again. I don't know. Maybe it was the key that was doing it, but it was just, it was so sad.
Were you crying a little bit of tears here?
Yeah.
Wondering what Jobim's been through?
I was, yeah. Do you got a camera in here or something? How'd you know?
Oh, I just always assume you were crying during these podcasts.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's not inaccurate. Anytime I'm forced to speak with you, I cry a little bit.
Oh, unhappiness, Sam. That's too much.
Yeah, sure.
Well, we all know it's because you're actually chopping onions for preparation for dinner.
Yes, yeah.
One to multitask.
Every week I chop onions.
Very onion-heavy diet.
Yeah.
No, but I kind of like obviously this. It's all within the bossa nova realm, but he covers some different emotions on this album.
Yeah.
even without the use of vocals or words.
Yes. Yeah, I was expecting it all to be instrumental. So I'm not frowning upon the singing, but it's the fact that it's very sparsely used, just like another instrument, is a big plus. Jumping to track 7, if you're ready, Coop.
Track number 7, Andorina, I believe is how it's pronounced.
Did I type that right?
I mean, again,
yeah,
Portuguese. Right.
So that's the female love interest on that Disney show, right?
Which one?
Andor and Andorina.
Boo! All right, man goes to one comedy club and suddenly he's yucking it up. I'm gonna have to buy a drink.
Yeah, please. It's not covered on the price of your ticket for some reason. I don't know. This one is nice enough, but it's very slow, and it didn't really have its own unique sound to it for me.
Yeah, this one is incredibly slow. Like just and not in, I guess, the way the other ones were, as much as like it was just mild.
Yeah.
Like very little instrumentation. You know, there's some keyboard going throughout it and like some light bass, you know, going throughout the background, but it is overall pretty sleepy.
Yeah, I would say that's quite an accurate description of it, rather than peaceful.
Yeah, I'd say this is the only one. I'm like, oh, this is maybe a little boring.
Yeah. Jumping to track number 8, then, if you're ready, Coop.
Track number 8. God and the Devil in the Land of the Sun. It's a pretty metal name for a bossa nova track, if I'm being honest.
And it just barely doesn't fit, and I'm not going to fix it. Around the 35-second mark, that really does sound like the devil running in the sun.
I guess what is that?
It's the kind of crazy woodwind section.
And I guess this almost gets a little more like freeform jazz.
Yeah, and I was digging it,
especially with that saxophone that's just kind of going off in the background.
Yeah, it's way more conceptual than standard.
I don't know. I was getting almost like police procedural vibes off of it at times.
What?
You know, like in the 70s, like the intros to like police shows that kind of have this jazzy, kind of actiony sound to it.
I can't say that I do. The only police show I have ever really watched is Police Squad.
Okay, that hardly counts.
Yes.
Like, you always struck me as a Columbo kind of guy, but
no, never seen it. Sorry to disappoint.
Well, maybe next time. The next life.
Yeah, I was about to say next life.
When we get reincarnated, inevitably also do a podcast then.
I mean, this is only the third time?
Yeah. So we got plenty more in us.
It was really hard to do a podcast when microphones hadn't been invented yet.
Yeah, we were just kind of speaking into cans.
King Arthur wasn't too amused either.
No, but I think it was a good use of the magic.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely another kind of vibe change here.
Yeah. I really dug the conceptualness of this one. It was, you want a bossa nova album to be bossa nova. This was still jazz, so it still fit the mold for me, and it was quite enjoyable. Jumping to the final track, then, if you're ready.
The final track, Sabia. Which, if you're listening on Spotify, there's one more track on that. It's the alternative take of Brazil.
Yes.
But that's a CD reissue extra, so we will not be reviewing that here.
Yes.
And also just a alternative take on a song already on this album.
Yes. Don't really need that. But it was, and I know I just said, I know God and the Devil and the Land of the Sun isn't too bossa nova-y, but this one I wish it ended on more of a bossa nova-y note.
Well, I mean, this song's fairly bossa nova-y.
A little bit. Not as much as I wanted it to be, though.
I do like that it has the vocals on it, though.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a good place to end it.
Yeah, I did. We've only had him twice, so it was nice to bring him back. Make it a little bit more interesting. Shake things up with the with vocals coming in again.
Yeah, I mean, it's rather mild, but like I said, the instrumentation throughout the album is pretty on point.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe this isn't the most interesting usage of it, but I still think it's a worthy song.
Oh yeah, it's a fine ending song. I was very relaxed by the end of this album. It was getting harder and harder to write as it went along because I just kind of wanted to sit back and close my eyes, but then I had to think, and the music was making me not want to think, which I think is a pretty good review of how relaxing the album is. I'm a sucker for jazz, though. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, mild ending for a mild album, I think is probably the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm. But not bad.
No, not at all.
And that's the last song. So let's do least favorite, Cooper, because I believe we have the same one based on our earlier discussion.
Well, my least favorite's Andorina.
Yeah. I wasn't a fan of the TV show either.
I never watched it.
I haven't either.
Okay.
I don't have Disney Plus. Kidding me?
Don't borrow it from your neighbor.
No. But yeah, it was kind of a boring song.
Yeah, no, I completely agree as well. It's the I guess maybe the stereotype bossa nova just being kind of mild nothingness. I mean, it has like the muted, or I guess the trombone was kind of nice on it, but other than that, it was extremely sleepy.
Yeah, not a whole lot going on.
Well, then what was your favorite then, Sam?
My favorite, I would have to say, is actually Teresa, My Love.
Oh, the opener.
It was just, there's nothing else on this was quite like it. You know, with the trombone and the flutes and the trombone being in the right, the flutes in the left. It had that real heavy bossa nova groove underneath everything. It was the only way I could see of making it better was kind of spread out the percussion a little bit so it's not all in one ear. But other than that, I'm like, wow, this is when Cooper said bossa nova, I only dreamed that it would be this.
It was.
And it was, and I was very happy. What about you, Coop? Which was your favorite?
I with the title track, Stoneflower, which is funny. The least bossa, well, maybe Gone the Devil in the Sun, or in the Land of the Sun is the least bossa nova.
Yeah, that one's just jazz.
This one's definitely a lot more energetic. But I don't know. I just like how all the instrumentation came together. It kind of built, right? It had I think a satisfying payoff, and kind of had all the instrumentation come together.
I mean, that's also a very good song.
And it was kind of a little jolt after the long Brazil song. I think it's a pretty good album pacing as well.
Oh yeah. The mixing up of the energy levels and styles really helped. I mean, it was only a 29-minute album. Well, not even, because that was with the bonus track. So it was only like a 23-minute album.
It's like a 35-minute album. 23-minute album. That's a very short album.
I listened to this much earlier than usual, so my memory doesn't stretch back that far.
You listened to it at 1.5 speed.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's why.
Man's efficient.
I thought it would be a lot easier to listen if they slowed down a little bit.
Listening at half speed, so I can pick out every single note.
No, but yeah, I also think that's a very good track. I don't know if that would be my number 2, but it was very good.
I mean, the tracks are varied enough that I could see anyone picking, any of them out of all of them. Mm-hmm. Besides like Andorina.
Yes, besides that one. Well, we got to rate it now, Coop.
We do.
And it's your turn to come up with the latest story that we haven't said yet.
Well, I mean, I don't know a story. Maybe
sorry,
historical fact.
It's not makep. Spout a story we haven't used
right,
yet.
An antidote.
That's
oof, man.
That's not the right word, but let's move on.
Sorry, I got the bossa nova playing in the background. It's shutting my brain off, my speech center. As you mentioned earlier, Sam, obviously, many people don't know this, but we were actually alive during the King Arthur times. And we actually tried to convince Merlin to invent the first car.
Mm-hmm.
To which he said, "Guys, what are you talking about? Magic isn't real." And then he shot us 2,000 years into the future. Um, and
As a
we were
joke.
as a joke. So and then we immediately started a podcast. Um, so actually, the fact that our car idea took off, or we're still trying to collect royalties. We're still trying to figure out the U.S. legal system and sue, which is very difficult for medieval peasants to do.
Yeah.
But I think we got a good case at winning this.
We weren't even smart back then. Just imagine how,
no.
how much trouble
We were
we're
dumb
having
for
now.
the time as well. Merlin's like, no, this is going to be hilarious. These guys bumble around. So, and because of that, we have a rating system that's car based. Of course, at the tip top, you've got showroom. That's the cream of the crop, the best, the best. These are, your must listens. All the way on the bottom, you've got your scrapyard, your bottom of the barrel. Ooh, yuck, keep it away from me. Just absolute garbage that you never want to listen to again. And then we have a used rental, fixer upper like new, and we'll give it a higher low depending on how we feel. So with all that said, Sam, what would you rate Stoneflower?
I think I would have to give it a nice medium like new. It's just a very, very good album. Maybe like a lower like new, because the low is pretty low, but the everything else is pretty. I would say pretty comparable in terms of quality. And it's just, you should give it a listen. It's a very nice, very relaxing album.
Oh, exceedingly. And I have to agree. Give it a like new. Maybe a little on the lower side. I mean, it's obviously a very pleasant listen.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe doesn't have much of a wow factor in terms of things popping out, but extremely consistent listen. I mean, a great bossa nova album. It kept to the themes while keeping varied. And I think each of the songs really brought something else to the album. So I think it's a pretty complete package in terms of a classic bossa nova listen. I mean, Jobim does it again.
Yep. Yeah, it is. It's just a good time. You should give it a listen. And it's quick, too.
It's also, maybe not while you're driving. Maybe when you're like a little sleepy and you want to take a nap, but...
Yeah, don't whack this on at the start of your 4-hour road trip.
Yeah, it's going to put you to sleep. In a good way. But yeah, that's it. That's our rating.
So now we can roll on over to the spare tire, which is just whatever else we've been listening to. And for me, I think it's been nothing.
Nothing at all?
Not really anything. I listened to Night Moves because it was this the strip club with the same name was mentioned. But yeah, other than that, just kind of listening to podcasts and watching YouTube live streams that I've meant to watch. I've got a backlog of like a year's worth that I just keep putting in a playlist and haven't been watching, and so I've been going back and finally watching some of those. What about you, Coop? Have you actually been listening to music?
Music. Oh yeah, music. I've been listening to a lot of Jobim. I mean, it's just so nice. Also, MKG released a new album this last week. Kind of an alternative, like lo-fi artist that I liked. So did Huron John. Also kind of an indie artist. Every time I've been working out this week, I've just been listening through the Tekken soundtracks. Just listen through Tekken 3. Those are great workout music if you want to get pumped. Yeah, that's about it. Not too much out of the blue here.
Hey, at least it's actual music.
I mean, aren't podcasts just spoken music without instruments? Isn't what we're doing music is what I'm trying to say?
No. No.
Oh.
I think it also barely classifies as art. It doesn't
The law
classify
requires
as art.
me to answer no. I like to think we make the bare minimum of art requirements.
It I'd say we make the bare minimum of what can be called content.
And technically we have to, or else Merlin will transport us into the depths of space as for his punishment.
I don't know. You really shouldn't have dumped that chamber pot on his head.
Look, I didn't think he was an actual wizard. I thought it was like, like a nickname, like a cool nickname.
No one else got cool nicknames.
Yeah, well, I mean, King Arthur. That's kind of a cool nickname.
That's his name.
Huh? Oh, so I shouldn't have dumped the chamber pot on him either.
No, well, thankfully we don't have to deal with that. Anyway.
Yeah, but that's it for this week.
Yeah, that's all we've got. If you've liked what you've been listening to and you want to hear some more of it, you can go to YouTube, where almost all the past episodes are. Just click the picture of Jeff Lennon down the page on Twitch. And if you're on YouTube and you want to watch us live on Twitch, Sundays usually at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then...
You okay, Sam?
Yeah, my brain just froze for a minute.
Well, what's going on with
setting,
I think it's this Bossa Nova's.
I've also been up.
Down
I woke up a lot earlier today, and I've cleaned the house, so I'm a little tired. We do have a Twitter, but I think it's time we drop that.
But, I mean, you can follow us at AudioShotPod, that's POD on Twitter. We'll let you know what we're listening to and when we're listening to it.
I'm gonna go through and make some accounts on other sites, but
so yeah, if we make alternative accounts, we'll let you know.
I think we should drop Twitter. Like a hot sack of shit that it is.
Would it be worse if it was cold?
No, because things smell less when they're cold.
Oh, that's true. Oh, yeah, but give us a holiday or wherever we end up going.
Yeah, I'll look into it some this evening and this week, and hopefully get something set up. But anyway. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.
See you later, shoppies.
See you.